Good evening. I'm just putting up my YouTube right now. I want to pin my YouTube channel. Okay, so I am here once again to talk about the botched job that was done on me, where I was essentially bullied to within an inch of my life in Toronto. Bullying that was led by a man named John Ferreira. And his picture is available on my Instagram wall for anybody who wants to see it. And for anybody who knows him and who aligns with him. And I'm sure that's a lot of my followers. As I've explained before in other videos, I've come to realize that a lot of my followers are people that have a hand in this in some way or the other. I guess people that are also drug mules. I guess it's like that's how it is. It's like a little Ponzi scheme. Like, some people are involved. Some people don't quite know exactly what's going on. Some people are bribed to come along. Whatever the case is. I think maybe it's a recruitment scheme where, maybe it's like you join, you can do it, and then we pay you more if you can recruit more people, if you can get more friends or more people to come on board. And it looks like, a lot of my customers have... Hey YouTube, check out Can Boutique for super trendy dresses and genuine furs on clearance as low as 70% off. Prices starting as low as $27 Canadian. Visit www.shopcan.com. A lot of my customers have participated in this in some way, shape, or form. It is hard to say. It's really hard to say, but obviously, their drug culture is huge. And especially in certain cultures, it's just a big thing. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I at this point, I'm not surprised by too much, but I have been shocked at the kind of ways that they have employed in coming after me. I'm very shocked. People have tried to stand in the way of me making money. It's like if you're self-sufficient and they're so desperate that if you're self-sufficient and you're already making money and you can already take care of yourself, that they'll block your money, block your means of taking care of yourself in order to get rid of what you've built for yourself, in order to force your hand into what they're doing. And of course, it's a botched operation. It has failed. It has failed miserably. And, now I'm making noise. Now I'm exposing people. Now I know what's going on. And one thing that's been shocking is a lot more people have been involved. And a lot of businesses that are so-called reputable businesses. And then now I find myself looking at this situation, not just from a standpoint of just a drug recruitment, but this is like a bigger organization than what I thought. It's not just local to Toronto. It is, they have people working everywhere, risking their jobs to do stupidity. So to start this story off, today, let me put my timer on. I forgot that. Today, I've had this FedEx invoice that I have to take care of. Now, I'm going to start at the top of the story so that you can see. I was working with a stylist in the States, and I've worked with this, or supposed to have worked with this person from before. We discussed gowns. They said they needed gowns right away. I sent them 2 samples worth a lot of money. I sent the samples over. I sent it at my cost on my FedEx account, and I probably sent it June or July of last year. I had to beg this man to return my clothing. Every time he would say he would return the clothing back to me, something else would occur, or he would go ghost, and I had to fight him. Finally, the day that he decided, 3 months later, I sent it June or July, and I got my clothes back finally September 26th. One of the emails he wrote me, or it must have been an Instagram message, something, he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've had my car broken into. I've been in fights. I've been this and that." None of which have anything to do with returning our items. He finally sends the stuff on September 26th. He goes ahead, because it's already on my account, so I'm paying for it. He goes ahead and he claims the duties on this account. Like, he makes it so high that even the people at FedEx are like, why would someone ever do something like that? Like, what kind of person would declare this so high? Even suppliers sending stuff in, they'll ask you like, okay, you know, what's reasonable to declare it? I end up with a $250 bill. So I've been disputing this bill and it's always been halted because I always have a bunch of stuff going on and a bunch of stuff to do. So finally today I take care of this bill. Mind you, I have been getting collection calls from a company called Gatestone. A company called Gatestone has been calling for collections and on this same invoice. So I called the number from my email. They've been leaving messages on the work phone. I call back. It doesn't even ring. It goes straight to some kind of voicemail. And then they've been calling from multiple numbers. So Vancouver, but then the address on the answering system is in Toronto, and then some random 1-800 number. But when you Google Gatestone, it's a totally different number. The Gatestone number is a totally different number on the Gatestone website than on the internet. Or sorry, than on the messages that are being left. And I'm searching the website trying to figure out if there's like searching the internet to see if there's another number. Can't find it. I call FedEx. FedEx is like, no, absolutely, your account is not in collections. Would you like to go ahead and resolve it now? So I resolve everything, and then I escalate it and I report this so-called company. And this reminds me of a situation where a girl came to us for a pageant dress, for a beauty pageant, and I gave her our store number. I was just in DM and I said, here's our store number, give me a call. This girl calls me on my cell phone, which I've never given her my cell phone number. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I call back the number. She calls from a Vancouver number. So I call back the Vancouver number. And wouldn't you know, her voicemail is also a collection company number. One of the things, this is an operation where they have established themselves, where they want to take you down. I believe that these people extort money from people, not actually because these people owe money to that collection company, but because they lie. So one time they told me that I so-called owed money to CIBC, and I had to make sure that I called CIBC because that account was like 5 years old. Like, that's a super duper 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 old account. I don't know why on earth that I'm getting called about this now. And it like, there's stupid amounts, like $20, $16, like nonsense. Like, they just want to find anything that you owe. The thing for me is that I do not like owing. I like settling my debts, taking care of things, getting confirmations, getting receipts, etc., etc. So for me, I figure it's different. All of a sudden these days I'm getting parking tickets all over the place. It's like there's always something going on. Wherever they have people working, they always they want to drain your finances in some type of way. There's always all of these expenses that make no sense whatsoever, and there's always something coming up. So this beauty pageant girl, her personal cell phone voicemail is for a collections company. Then I had Bell call me because they were saying that I owed them equipment. That's what was put in the system. I called them and I said, actually, your tech took the stuff back. Which is weird because I've been with Bell for like 15 years and I've never had any of these kinds of issues as I've been having since this John Ferreira person starts coming around. The same company, again, the Gatestone company, which, by the way, I'm going to report to the Better Business. Oh, you better believe when I start making reports, it's like a shotgun. I'm going to really take some people out with these reports because this is nonsense. They call me and they're like, oh, you owed us equipment and you never shipped it back. They didn't figure that I had already taken pictures, have the tracking number, and have emails dated of when I sent the equipment back. So as soon as I sent all of that stuff over, then I never hear from them again. But they had a whole dollar amount and everything of all the equipment that I so-called owed them. And I sent like a big box of equipment. And I already had an agreement with this person at Bell head office that I was going to send everything back. And I said I was going to send everything back. And they were like, you don't even need to. You don't even need to send us everything. Just send us these key pieces. Don't worry about the wires. Don't worry about whatever. And we should be fine. We'll square it off. So this was done. This was already done a long time. These are the kind of things that they do to create chaos, to create distraction, to create fake anxiety in your life, to put you in a situation where you constantly feel like something is always going on. So I have already come to the conclusion that a bulk of this, a bunch of stuff that's going on or that's happening is probably not real. And I just take my time and I call and I sit on the phone and I verify everything. Charges that are absolutely insane. But you know what? I like to look at things positively, and I always say things are happening for the better. I used to have such an issue dealing with Tellus. I just had to block their number. I paid them $1,500 to get out the contract. I didn't even care because these kind of overages were insane. It was like every month, 500, 600. And it's like, these may sound like normal things to normal people, but when you're in this kind of a situation, it happens so much that you start knowing, you start recognizing a pattern where people are constantly putting you in a situation where they're trying to deplete your finances constantly. It's like whatever way that can take a swipe at your savings, they are trying. Somebody is in the background trying, manipulating, plotting on ways, finding people, bribing people, and they do so by using access to your emails, access to your mail, access to whatever they can get access to see what do you owe, what do you have going on. Thank God I've been closing accounts one after the other. And now that I got away from Tellus, I couldn't get Tellus on the phone even from the Tellus store. They would have me on hold for an eternity. They would be hostile on the phone, and now they want to win me back. How many times is Tellus going to call? It's like the third call now. I've had to block the number. They couldn't win me back with $1 million voucher. They want to put you in a situation where you get unexpected bills and unexpected problems and unexpected chaos constantly going on in your life. This is a problem. People have been taken down by this, and they don't even know that they've been taken down. They don't even know what's happened. This is a systematic thing where they put people in these situations where they destroy your life and you barely know what's going on. Excuse me. Thank God for myself personally. I'm a person who is very reclusive. So I know who's coming in and out of my life. I am aware of the people that I open up my life to. And I can see things sort of in slow motion because I have a pretty consistent routine, and I can see when things are off, and I can see when things are happening that are abnormal. A huge part of your day is spent. I had to do the bulk of this stuff at Christmas time because a huge part of your day will be spent sitting on the phone with 1-800 numbers, trying to get people to resolve things. And what Tellus was doing to me, like even the Tellus reps looked at the account and they're like, something's off here because it took you like 11 days and you still haven't resolved this issue. I had to literally get up and go to the mall to resolve this issue, and I just canceled it. I didn't care about resolving it anymore. I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to pay the bill. I'm not disputing anything. Congratulations. But what you take from my pocket today, it will be the last. And it is what it is. And you know what? To anybody going through this, just start closing accounts down. Cancel stuff. Close it down. Any unnecessary expenses, just get rid of them. Don't give these people an outlet to try to dictate how you're spending your money and draining your pockets of everything, because that's what they're looking to do. Somebody here, John Ferreira, was paid to destroy my life and then to put me in a situation where I felt I had no choice but to be a drug mule, to take over my life because I dated a man who very obviously is a drug mule. That's the long and the short of the situation. We've had so many bizarre things happen that it's like now my teenage children know and can see what's going on. Literally, we will get calls from what would look like one of our cell phones, and when we all compare call logs, we didn't call each other. It's like they're using our cell phone to track us. And I essentially have to leave. First class, I'm going to block you because you had absolutely no right to be telling me what I'm going to talk about on my page. And I think you're an op. So bye forever. Bye. Get off my page. These people, they coordinate to do this kind of nonsense to others. They coordinate to put people in these kind of situations, and they have all these kinds of people that they put around you to give you advice, to tell you, oh, be careful, to fearmonger, to put fear in you that you shouldn't be talking, you shouldn't be speaking out. And it's like at this point, they have no one of influence around me, no one at all. No one's going to stop me from going to the police. No one's going to stop me from going to court when this eventually gets out. There is no way. And I take it as a personal mission to continue exposing John Ferreira for who and what he is, because he's destroyed a lot of people. And he's dragged a lot of people with him in this thing that he's done, from Orange Theory Fitness, a whole bunch of businesses that I can name. Okay, maybe some people were bullied, a lot of people did it voluntarily, and a lot of people thought it was funny, and I thought it was unconscionable, and I could not believe that people were actually doing this sort of thing. I could not believe that people found this funny, to destroy someone, to tear someone down for all of their hard work and everything that they've accomplished in life. It's absolutely insane to me, and I'm not going to let it go. Never. I think John Ferreira is a murder for hire. Absolutely. I think that's the sort of thing they do. I think they get people out of here. They make people disappear. I think he's dangerous. I know he's dangerous. He has absolutely no feelings or human emotions in his body. He's a sociopath. He's a psychopath. He's a liar. He's a lunatic. He's a maniac. He is a disgusting human being. And he primarily preys on women and children. Primarily. He has so many female victims that he does this to. He love bombs people. He pretends to be a kind person. He pretends to be giving. He pretends to be your friend while he's gathering information to destroy you and to destroy your life. And he's done it to everyone. Anybody who John Ferreira has entered their life can attest to the fact that nothing has ever gone good since. In fact, things have fallen apart. Nobody, including people he so-called cares about, including the person he has pregnant right now, who has destroyed that person's life. Well, they both destroyed their life because she voluntarily participated. He brings nothing good with him. Nothing good. He definitely functions as muscle for organized crime and corrupt corporations, where they use him as a means to destroy people that they deem a targeted individual. That's what they call them. They make people into targets and they destroy their life. They use people who are around in the circle of influence, and they use those people to gather information on what to destroy. They want to know your current plans, or what you have planned, or what you have going on, to stomp on everything that you're trying to build. It is crazy. My business should be so much further. This entire thing has costed me now, we're getting close to $1 million in losses. It's insane, and it's nothing small. My life has changed. What my life looks like has changed as a result of this situation. This is dead serious, and I'm going to continue talking about this every single day. This is one of my jobs. This is part of my job. There's a lot of illusions that they create around people. They create situations where you think these people are your friends. You think you're getting involved in some sort of like fun, happy environment. There's a lot of clubbing, a lot of partying. Oh, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that. A lot of love bombing. This is how easy it is to create an illusion, because he's a hacker. First, they send fake followers. So they look for an event that would lend to sending you fake followers. And that could be you just did a new Instagram ad. I'm going to talk for myself for what I know. So it could be a new Instagram ad that you've put up. It could be, you know, you're working with a new influencer. Chances are they're the one that sent you the influencer to begin with. They look for a strategic situation. I swear I blocked this account how long ago? Move. How are accounts coming into my live that I blocked so long ago? Anyway, they create illusions. I think that I've had grand openings that these people have been at. You're surrounded. They've definitely sent me a ton of employees. They've definitely 100%, a lot of my followers are all gang stalkers. So they create the sales, they give you fake likes, they give you fake interactions, they give you fake comments, they give you all of this, and you think your business is thriving and all of your effort that's going out is being blocked. And I remember a lot of connections that I was trying to make for a longest time was blocked. Like, this is nothing new. Like, I remember for a long time, like, I'd try to connect with certain people and people would constantly have something to say about me, or there would always be something. There was always something. This is really prevalent in Toronto, and it kind of seems like it's almost like they want to take over the whole city so the whole city could be gang stalkers. It's like they come into an area and they want to take over everything in the area. This is how they want to make money. This man has insane karma on his head. I think if John Ferreira drove past on a street, the entire street would have to catch some karma, because that's how bad his karma is. And everybody has had a hand in doing this. Like, so many people. I'm shocked at the number of people they've pulled from my past. They're probably have versions of my phone mirrored where they're going through the conversations on all kinds of apps, because people are popping up from the woodworks. It's like the mailman is popping up. Like, random people are popping up from every corner of the planet that I've ever had one meaningless interaction with. Oh, hi, how are you? Happy New Year's. In January. It's like, it's just been endless. It's been nonsense. It's been ridiculous. I've had to find myself, and I've had to get to a place where I've had to shut so many doors to this manipulation and this illusion and these lies, because clearly it's like these people clearly just want to put you in a situation where they constantly have opportunity to gaslight you, to be working with you publicly in a manner where they can go back and now talk badly about your clothing, talk badly about who you are, talk badly about your personality, do messed up things, and then talk crap. I have a huge list of influencers who have sent clothes who none of them have responded back. Just wouldn't respond, wouldn't post the clothing, nothing. And I can't tell if it's that they're being bullied into doing this, or if they think it's funny, or if they're just part of this. I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea how it works. It's ridiculous. I make these lives all the time because, honestly, first of all, it's like part of me is like, people need to know, because I do think that there's a percentage of people that just don't know. They just maybe got in on something because they thought it was funny. But I make these lives because I need to constantly talk about it. And John Ferreira is just one person, and he's the person who, you know, I'm dog walking, essentially, more or less. Hey YouTube, check out Can Boutique for super trendy dresses and genuine furs on clearance as low as 70% off. Prices starting as low as $27 Canadian. Visit www.shopcan.com. More or less, because he led the charge. He led the charge. He was behind the scenes, and when it didn't work, he was the last one that they sent in. And it was almost like, well, we've put in all this money into your business, and now we're going to take everything from you. It's insane. It's insane. And they've been taking so much credit for all the hard work that I've been doing. And I think in their minds, they truly believe that they've built my business. And I've taken my business from almost nothing to where it is today, with absolutely no help, no investment, no loans, no sponsors, no nothing. So him sending people into the store and trying to give me this impression that I'm going to be a part of some sort of like secret society that supports itself, that I'm going to have people supporting my business while at the same time being extremely verbally abusive and gaslighting and extremely rude, etc., has been ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. The gang stalking itself has been 1.5 years. Right now, they have to sit on their hands because they don't know my schedule. They don't know where I'm going, when I'm going, how I'm going. They don't have physical access to me. So it's crazy. I wrote a list here about, the kind of things or the kinds of ways that these people use to gang stalk you, to start this process. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that they begin. So first, they need access to your network. And one of the fastest ways to do that is just to hack your accounts. Hack Google, because Google will usually have all your contacts on there. Find out where you work and come around there. Follow you around covertly. But they need access to your network because they're going to take away your strongest support systems, the pillars in your support system right away. Those are the people that they're going to take away to put you in a state of heartbreak and to really make you feel like everybody's against you. Unfortunately, we all have greedy family members, and I don't mean one or two of us. I mean all of us. All of us. John Ferreira is finding out now that he never had friends. Maybe he always knew that, but maybe he felt like if he was paying people or giving people money that no, nobody actually has friends. Now, this is something that I've always known. And this is something that I think most of us know, because there's a quote that says, if you find yourself with 2 real friends, that you have a lot. It's either 2 real friends or 1 real friend or whatever. That's saying a lot. It is saying a lot, and it speaks to human nature that the number could be so low. So, of course, they're going to be successful with getting into your network. They need you quiet, and they need you not talking about it. That's why they need access to your network. And that another thing they do to keep you quiet is they gaslight you. As soon as you start posting about it and talking about it, they'll say, oh, you've lost your mind. Oh, you're a psychopath. Oh, you're this and that. That's what my ex called me when I used to call him asking him what's going on here. Please tell me what's going on. Which is so crazy because he knew what was going on. He knew absolutely 100% what was going on, because I went from asking, what is going on here? Can you tell me what's going on? To telling him like, listen, people are following me all over. And he himself was stressed so badly, could barely breathe, could barely survive. Right now, they've gone from pulling all the money out of his pocket to full on gang stalking him. So hopefully he calls himself a psychopath for thinking that people are following him and being under such anxiety and under such stress, because that is what he said to me. Now, part of me knows, a big part of me knows that he was trying to keep the peace and he was trying to stay away from me so that they would stop. The problem is you have to face your issues up front. This is what I've done. You have to walk through fire. You can't keep avoiding it and keep running and create and make yourself a victim constantly and constantly accept people bullying you and being in a yes ma'am, no sir energy, like a servant, like a slave, like a little boy. Because that's how they have these men, like children. And then they come home and they want to talk to you any type of way, like they're so big and bad. But it's like, when the cartel calls, they're like, oh, yeah, and then turn around and bully women. And then the men that they're supposed to stand up to, like, he hasn't gotten paid for all of this work he's put in, and he can't say a damn thing. They can use and abuse him and he can't say anything, but it's me he wants to be afraid of him. It's me he wants to... No, that's not the way that it goes. You can't even stand up for yourself. You have to be impoverished, homeless, and completely bankrupt, unable to have money to even bribe people because you can't stand up for yourself. So you're definitely not going to come over here and have any type of control over me whatsoever. It's insane. It's insane. And that's the situation that he's in right now. Penniless, diseased, in anxiety, in fear, having lost everything. Literally everything he wished for my life is occurring in his life. It has been for a very long time, but he didn't care. He thought he could get the job done. He didn't believe in karma, and he didn't believe that, people get back what they put out. So here we are, and he's still continuing. He's still continuing. Imagine that. Driving himself straight into jail. Still continuing, will not stop. Even though we can clearly see where this has been going, he will not stop. They need access to your home. They constantly come in and out of your home. For anybody going through this, you need to put bolts on your door. These people will come and try your door. They will come and try your door. They will try to get people to get keys to come into your home. They will do a lot. They constantly try to see or know where everybody who lives in the house is, to see when they can come in the house. And the reasons for which I'm not going to go into, because I'm not going to make it that type of message tonight, because I'm going to post this to my wall. They need you unaware of what's going on. And so everybody around you knows what's going on except you. And they need access to you. These are two things that they don't have from me. I'm absolutely aware of what's going on, and there is absolutely no access to me by anyone whatsoever. I'm 100% uninterested in everyone at this moment. I trust no one, and it is what it is. It's terrible that people have to live in states like this where they trust no one. The only thing that doesn't make it a calamity or a sad situation for me is that I've always lived like this, and I've always been very cautious of people, because I've always seen people as predators. If they see an opportunity to take advantage, they will. They will. So this doesn't present a huge fallout with me. I voluntarily lived like this in a self-directed manner for many, many years. So it is what it is. They stress you out so much that they put you in a foggy state of mind. You're constantly focusing on this thing. Like for me, I'm now at a place with it where I prioritize when I want to think about it, because it's not in the forefront of my reality. It's not even in the background of my reality. It's just not in my reality. I just don't care. Even the times that I go out and they manage to figure out where I'm going and what I'm going to do, it just really doesn't matter to me. I've dealt with enough of it that it's not going to be consistent. So it's like, even if I know I'm going to have to deal with it that day, who cares? Who cares? It's like the streak of me not having to deal with it has gone so many days that the one day that it happens, it doesn't elicit any fear. No one can force me out of my home. No one can force me to be on whatever schedule, to be wherever. And it's getting quite difficult with me talking all over the place. When they come around and I point out their weird behavior to the people around me, people tend to know, and people are seeing what's going on. They have to be very careful. So now the best they can do is watch. And maybe, see if it has an effect. And they know that it doesn't, because this program is not designed to be just watching, just standing back, knowing your boundaries. It's not designed that way. They can't put money on my books because my store's not open. And they don't have access to me physically in that way. So they can't come in and send people in morning, noon, and night anymore, just buying things that they don't need. Constantly trying to put me in a situation to set me up. They like to set you up high and then for you to fall, for you to have a fatal fall. This is what they enjoy doing. And this is something that if you're in this situation, you have to take away their access and their ability to be able to fund your lifestyle in any way, because they truly start believing that they own you. And that's financial dependency. And of course, they stalk you. They physically follow you everywhere. They physically hack you, hack all your devices. They know everything that's going on. It's a terrifying situation for a person who's not used to it. It's absolutely terrifying. This will exhaust you over a while. Like, this will physically exhaust you. Like, you will be so tired of dealing with this. I think a lot of people just give up and give in because they're just tired of constantly having to go through this nonsense over and over and think about this, and it's so draining. And even just learning about it, if anybody has any interest, like if you just go on any sort of app, Twitter, YouTube, wherever, and you just look up gang stalking, you'll hear the kind of things that people have to say. It's draining and it's tiring, and people have to live that way, and people do live that way for like long periods of time. Not me. My determination has been, and will continue to be, to close this cycle out for myself. I don't know what lab they took this idiot out of, where he thinks that I'm going to just sit here and tolerate this. Like, some people are like, oh, I tolerated it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's not going to happen to me. Absolutely not. I'm removing myself, closing the cycle. And he can go bankrupt as he is. He's going to stay bankrupt. He's not going to get paid off of me. And I'm dead set on that. Some of the industries that I have found that there's a prevalence of drug mules, and so once you become a drug mule, you have to be involved in the gang stalking, because again, they control your life. So you have to bring people in. I don't know if they get a bonus for doing this or more money for doing this. I'm assuming they do, because they all do it and they all think it's funny. Influencers, for sure. All the biggest influencers. Reality TV stars. I think reality TV stars, they get in these positions and they don't know that they're being surrounded. Your stylists, your hair people, your makeup people, everybody around you is in on this. Your managers, all of it. All of it. And it's just like celebrities talk about. If you really want to know about gang stalking, Google celebrities. Celebrities have a lot to say about this. So just like harassment, being hacked, being extorted, people putting them in weird deals and are trying to drain money from their pockets. Like, people just see you as a source of money, a way to, like, a means out. That's what gang stalking feels like. People following you everywhere, taking your pictures. Like, it's exactly what it feels like. Beauty pageants are a huge industry where they are constantly using these girls as drug mules. Anytime I see anybody who flies often, solo travelers, YouTube vloggers, whatever, big brands, a lot of big brands, they build up a lot of brands, which is what they're trying to do with me. They build up a lot of clothing brands. They build up a lot of brands, a lot of restaurants locally in Toronto. Whatever you could think of, honestly, they have their hand everywhere, and wherever they don't have their hand, they bully you to get involved. And a lot of people, I think, believe like, okay, I'm just going to get these people off my back. I'm going to do it one time. And now you're part of the group. And I explained that in another video. Like, literally taking a bribe makes you part of the gang right away. So, they function as something that is much bigger than what it actually is. At this point, I think I can write papers about gang stalking and about John Ferreira's little cabal. And I think I will. I think eventually I will. I will write papers around it. I will break it down. Doing these videos is very helpful. It helps me categorize a bunch of information that I can put out, and I can make it very digestible for people. And it's something that I'm going to continue to do. So, it is what it is. I'm going to post this to my Instagram so that people can see it and people can understand like exactly what it is that's going on. I have these cards that I read. They're called Spirit Oracle cards, and I absolutely love them. And I pick one or two cards every day and I just read it out because I feel like they're very inspirational, they're very motivational. And I describe these as my loudest cards because these cards virtually come flying out. Okay. See, my energy is always in this. Okay, so this one I'll read. Don't lose sight of this truth. You came here to evolve and grow. It is necessary to experience the difficult times. That is when you will grow most. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Be proud of your journey. That is something that I've had to learn because this was a very, very draining, tiresome, grueling cycle in my life. I'm proud of myself for having stayed in, and I'm proud of myself for having doing it calmly and gracefully. I get triggered when I think about it from time to time. I think that is more than what most people can say. Because when I think about the injustice, when I think about the kind of money, when I think about my home, when I think about all of the things that I've lost in the process of this, or have had to be compromised, I won't say lost, because there's a difference. It's not like what they wanted was for my house to be in foreclosure. That's what they wanted. But what I had to be responsible and do was to close it down. Essentially, it's the same thing. It's the same crime. But in one situation, I'm empowered. So if it has to happen, it's going to happen by my own hand. And that's the difference. But my house was stolen from me is how I feel. My business, all of this stuff was knocked out of my hands. And so that is something that I absolutely need justice for. It's ridiculous. And that's why I come on live every day. And I know that there are more people. And that's the thing. When I first started coming on here, it's like my engagement was so bad, worse than it's ever been. Like I used to get like 200 to 600 people in my stories, to now like 12. So that's to show how bad it is. But when I first started with this situation and I first started putting these lives out, it's like at one point I was like, what is the point of me doing this other than telling my story? And now I'm at the point where I'm like, no, I've seen multiple different occasions why I'm doing it. And even though it doesn't seem overwhelming, I know that other people have gone through this and probably didn't even know what they were going through. So I'm happy to enlighten people. Well, all of these are cards for me, so I'm going to leave this alone. One of the ways, or one of the things that I truly believe in is crystal healing. And I very much use crystals all the time, and not in a like imaginary way. Like crystals are healing. Like that's just science. It's not even about believing in like higher powers and anything. So I have these crystal cards that I absolutely love, and I pull one card every now and again just because I think it's cool. It's way too many. The same cards come out all the time. I feel like when I pull these cards, my energy is like all over the cards. I feel like I need to clean them because cards come out that I know are specific for me. But let me see what comes out. I know a bunch of these stones, but every once in a while there's like some random rare stone that comes out. Okay, let me do this one. I already did Tiger's Eye. So I use crystals for all kinds of things. Protection stones, stones for balancing, stones for cleaning your aura, stones for, you know, like actual physical ailments. Okay, this is a good one. This is Lepidolite, the crystal for overcoming dependency. And this is what it looks like. So, this is a stress reducer that halts obsessive thoughts. Lepidolite's lithium content stabilizes mood swings and bipolar disorder. It's excellent for overcoming emotional and mental dependency, releasing from addictions, obsessions, or self-harming. Facilitating change, this stone of transition assists in letting go of patterns of behavior and emotional blocks that are holding you back. Lepidolite boosts your analytical abilities, aids decision making, and encourages independence and achieving goals. So on the body, it assists with your immune system, nervous system, muscular and female reproductive systems, and DNA. And on a spiritual level, it facilitates spiritual awakening and aids access to the Akashic records. So obviously now I gotta go get this, because not that I have obsessive thoughts, but I think this is the kind of thing that can help you close a cycle, especially when you're used to focusing on one set of things, which I've had to spend a lot of time focusing on protecting myself. A lot of time focused on protecting myself. So I'm very happy now that I'm out of this situation and I can focus on myself. I can focus on healing. I can focus on my family. I'm no longer in a grueling work schedule. I can focus on myself. I can relax. I can go to bed early. I can wake up whatever time I want. Like, it's very relieving, but I do have to realign my focus throughout this time. So anyways, I hope this helps. And once again, this is how you spell the name of the card. I hope it shows. Lepidolite. And for people on YouTube, if you ever want me to clarify something that I've pulled, let me know. And I am going to share this on all my social media platforms, which I'm finding I have more and more all the time. I don't know how I'm being so social out of the blue, but anyway, thank you very much. Just sending love and encouragement to everybody still going through this. Because of the way that I'm coming out of it, and I'm out of it, it's like I have to rehear the stories and hear the kind of things that are going on with people, and it touches my heart to know like people are still going through this. And I remember when I was going through it, so I send love, I send appreciation, just for you guys sharing your stories. I think you should never stop doing that. I'm never going to stop doing that. I'm going to be 80 and I'm going to be telling this story, and this man is going to be immortalized by my tongue for what he's done, because it's atrocious, and he can never do this to anyone ever again. As of right now, he can't do this to anyone ever again, and I'm happy about that. My YouTube is God's Way 1019. Thank you very much, and have a good night.